ROI or yield, which is the best way to calculate your property deals? In this video, that's exactly what we're going to cover. First of all, we're going to show you how you work out each of those. Then we're going to cover which is the best method you can use to figure out how good of a turn, how good of a property investment you are making. Make sure you stay around to the end because I'm going to reveal with you which is the most important figures you can work out. First, I'm going to show you, as I said, how to work them out. Then I'm going to show you which is the most important. And then I'm going to show you a little app that you can do this very simply by implanting just a few digits. So you don't have to do this manually like I'm going to show you now. But for now, I think it's important for you to understand how to do this manually yourself, and then we'll give you the little app at the end so you can just do that very simply. But before we get into that, the most important calculation you can do right this minute now is calculate how you get your thumb up that screen onto that like button, hit that likes button to help the algorithms out. Massively helps, and it massively helps my ego. But let's get into this. So let's explain a little bit around it first of all. So you've got a yield and you've got a return on capital. Well, you've got a return on investment, sorry. So let's start off with the yield. Yields for me are great to indicate and qualify and disqualify a property, like especially when you're doing light refurbs, foundational, in the property delta matrix. If you don't know what the property delta matrix is, make sure you watch this video. But if you're getting these foundational properties, yields are okay for that, but a bit more complex stuff, I'm not too sure about. But as I said, I'll reveal exactly the best numbers I want at the end. But let's start off with yield. I always mixed up how to spell this, so apologies if I do any spelling mistakes on here. This is not for grammatical, even I can pronounce that. This is not for grammatical, this is not a grammatical lesson, this is to give you an understanding, and the whiteboard really helps you picture that together a bit better. So your yield, what is a yield? So how you calculate a yield is by taking your purchase price. So let's give you an example. Let's give you an example of this property. I just recently purchased this property, and let's use this property as an example. So take your purchase price. For example, this property was 77k. What you have to do then is take your rent. So this particular property was £700 per calendar month. So let's get the calculator out for this so we can give you a good example of this. So what you would do is you would take your yearly rent. So this is your rent here. So you would take your yearly rent. So if you was calculating this, you say £700 times 12, 700 times 12, and then you would divide that by, so you'd have the 700 times 12 equals 8,400. You would then divide this figure by this figure. So you would then divide that by the 77k. So divided by 77,000. And then you would times that. We're running out of space here, but we put times by 100. So then you times that by 100. It gives you a 10.9% yield. That is your gross yield. What a gross yield means without any cost involved. So how you then, so as I said, this is a good indicator to just qualify and disqualify a property really, really quickly. But if you've got really large refurbishments, like you're spending 100k refurbishing and developing this property, this is not a real great indicator of that. So then what you'd want to know, how you work out is your ROI, so your return on capital employed. So the difference between yield and return on capital employed is your ROI. So this is your yield. So your ROI then is basically the same figure but added everything together, all your costs. So let's say, for example, your purchase price is 77k. You've got to then plus your refurb cost. So if your refurb cost was 9k, then you've got to do plus your legals and stamp duties. Let's just say, for example, in this it was around 3.3k. So that's for your stamp duty. Just put an S above there. Sorry, a little bit messy here, but you'll get the drift of where we're going. So look, if you've got to add these together, you've got to add your total buying cost together on top of your purchase price, which figures out in total, your total cost of this property is 89k. So that's how much you've got in the deal. You then do the same math as what you would do you do the same maths what you do here, but on the total price. So, but then you minus the running cost of your rent. So to get your return, to get your, no, sorry, it will still be based off a rent, just a return on investment. This is just a gross return on investment. So you do the same calculation again. So we had 8,400 divided by 89,000 times by 100. This gives you a 9.4% ROI, 9.4% ROI. So that figure is your gross ROI. So again, what you want to do though is really work out what your net figure is. This after all costs as well. So your net ROI would be, let's work this out here as a net. This would be minusing the running costs from this rent. So let's say with your rent, you've got management fee at 10%, £70 per month. You've got a mortgage, say 150, just to square this off. These are not exact figures, but they're thereabouts. Then let's account for your insurance. Let's say that's around £20 a month. And then let's account for voids and maintenance at 5% each per month. That's another £70. So then this is going to total £310, which you have to minus from this £700 figure. That gives you a net monthly income of £390. So this is your net figure. So then you do the same calculation. So you go again straight into this with the same calculation. So you would do 390 times 12 divided by the total. So your yearly profit is 4,600. So this times 12 equals 4,680. You would divide that by the total buying cost, so the 89,000, and then times that by 100. So this is this gives you a net 5.2% ROI. So that's your net figure there. So it shows you how much from your gross rent, from your gross down to your net is a massive drop down from that, from a 10 down to a 5. And you can just really think about the properties like in London. These are gross yields. Their gross yields are more like 4%. So you can imagine how much they drop down. If they drop down 0.5%, it shows you not getting a great net return on your capital. I won't talk too much about the difference between North and South. I invest in the North for that reason. You can watch this video about getting good deals in the North and about the property delta matrix as well, which is a foundational style properties that's going to get you moving forward, which we're going to do these examples for. But there's a little curveball I'm going to throw in here as well, because there's a figure that's much more important than both your ROI and your yield, and that is return on capital employed. Let's get another colour here. This is your ROCE, return on capital employed. This here is barring none the most important figure that you can figure out in what you're doing in property. And the reason why, as I said I'll reveal this at the end. The reason why is because these can give you a return based on the amount of capital in it, but often you use mortgage and leverage to buy properties. So if you use the mortgage to buy this particular property, again, look, if you want to see a bit more about this property, have a look at this. This video's got a little tour of me going around this property, so you can actually put to life what this property looks like. But if you was to buy this on a mortgage like I did, I bought this cash and I refinanced it onto a mortgage. But if you bought this on a mortgage, what you would then do is, in a total need on a mortgage, you'd need around 31.5k to buy this on a mortgage. So then you do this same calculation with your net yearly profit compared to this 31.5k. So this calculation would then change. So what you would do then is you'd say 8,000, your net income, which is 4,680. You would then divide that by 31,500. And then you would do the same again, times it by 100. And this equals a 14% return on capital employed. So this shows you how hard your capital is working. So 14.8% ROCE. return on capital employed. This is barring none the very most important figure you can figure out in anything, because you want to know how hard each pound you put into a deal is working. This is the most important one. But now I'm going to do something and blow your mind a little bit more, because then when you add BRR to this, so this is what I've done with this deal. I've done the buy, refurbish, refinance strategy. I'm not going to go too much in depth with it here because I've done videos on that here. But the buy refurbish means you buy it. So I bought this for 77k. I've just recently bought this deal and recently had it refinanced. So I actually bought it for cash, not on a mortgage, but you could have bought it on a mortgage. I've done other videos on that here as well. And to be fair, you can do this without committing mortgage fraud, contrary to what a lot of people tell you. But with the BRR, let's add the BRR and using leverage and using banks. So you'll put 31k of your money into this deal if you bought this on a BRR. What happens then is you buy it, you refurb it, you buy it for the 70k. You've got your house here. Sorry about the drawing. This is not going to be the best of drawings, but you get the drift of where we're going with this. So you buy your house for 70k. You then do your refurbishment. So let's do some hammers here. I'm a West Ham supporter. So let's do your refurbishment. You then do that for 9k. As I said, you've got all your costs to this. So in total, as I said, where was the number here? We had the figure here somewhere. In total, you've got 89k in the deal. You then go back to the banks and say, I want to refinance this based on its new value. Let's say let's do this a little bit nicer. So now this house looks much more nicer. Let's take a bit more time to draw this. You've done it up. You've made the windows look more square. You've made the doors look more square. You've made the roof look more tidy. You've tidied this house up. You can see this house here wasn't refurbed, and you can see this one's been refurbed. You now, in this example case, I got this revalued at 105k. So now I'll refinance my money back out. I'll refinance that at, so I've got a new mortgage. This is the refinance stage at 75% LTV, which is loan to value. So I've got 75% loan on the new value. So that then give me back majority of my money and just left around 9k of my money left in this deal. So I had about, these are not exact figures, but I had about 9k left in this deal. So I had 9k left in. So now we do that same calculation based off of this. So if I'm earning this much, so if I'm earning, let's go back to this. So if I'm earning 4,000, what was that? £680 per year. Divide that by 9,000, times that by 100, and this gives me a 52% return on capital employed. So let's do this a bit bigger. 52% return on capital. Let's do a different color to emphasize this a bit more. Return on capital employed. This is why the BRR strategy is so powerful, and this is why leverage and property is so powerful. You cannot do this in any other asset classes. You cannot buy, refurbish, refinance. You cannot refinance stocks or cryptos. You can barely, if you're lucky, maybe if you're Warren Buffett, you can lend some money to go towards stocks, but I wouldn't advise that. But you do not lend money for that. This is why property is barring none a stronger return. You get an average of 6% returns. This here gives you a 52% return on your capital, which is 9k left in the deal, and this is appreciating asset. So these properties here, when I bought this property, I bought for 77k. If I bought that 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, pre-pandemic, that would have been more like in the 50s. So you can see the power of this. I've got capital. I would have capital appreciation going upwards. I'd have rent appreciation going upwards, and I've got strong return on my capital employed. But look, now you can see which is the best number to know, which is return on capital employed. Let's give a few red arrows over here so we really emphasize that. Now you know that's the most important number. What I want to do is show you a quick little simple way. You see how me messing around with that and looking at the numbers. I want to show you a little app that you can use which will simplify you calculating this. So this is a free app and it's called Lendlord. This is a great app. It does more than just analysing deals and working out what your returns are. What it will also do is figure out your long-term returns. It will be an online broker. It can store your portfolio. It is many things aside from just working this app. But for this video only, I'm just going to show you an example how you can work out your returns using this app. So this is an app. This is a desktop application as well. So you've got a desktop version, which is a little bit more advanced than the app. But let's open up this app, sign up. It's a free registration for it. There's no cost with this, absolutely free. Go into Deal Analyzer, and then you can put in the property You can analyze a rental property, or you can analyze a flip as well. So if you type in the address of the property, rental analyzer, straight away it's tell you what EPC it is. It'll tell you what type of property it is, the square meterage it is. Great for getting comparables, by the way, known as square meterage. It tells you what the average growth has been. So as I said, it's had a 3.6% growth. That's what makes this even more powerful. It tells you what the average yield in the area is, 6.3%. But then underneath here, you just got to type in a couple of numbers. So 77k. Oh, not 770k, and expected rent 700. And straight away, I'm not going to go in depth with this because you can see how user friendly it is. But if you go underneath here, straight away it's telling me I've got £5,800 a year cash flow, £487 a month cash flow. This is without all the other costs deducted. Down lower here, you can add in the other costs with there. But for this example, I'm just going to show you quickly how this gets the numbers up. 21% return cash on cash. That's return on capital employed. This is without adding the cost in and refinance element of that at the moment. That's just what it would have been at the front end. Gives you 10.59% gross yield. As I said, these numbers ain't exact because I rounded these off just for easy math on here, but that is pretty much where that was. A 7.3% net, and it just shows you all these different things. But also below it, underneath here, which is a great thing, is the long term. So this will show, let's get this to the top so you can see this, your long term on this. So my long term return on investment is going to be 329%. That's phenomenal, and that is a long term ROI of 91,000. And look, it just gives you these figures over a 10-year long term. You can change them assumptions to 5 years, 15 years, and see how this will work over a long-term period. It's estimating over 10 years. I'm going to have a 58k equity in that and have this income every single month of my money working really, really hard. This is why I love property. If you want a free version of this, Lendlord, we'll put a description of that in the comments below. If you want to also figure out how you can find these style properties, I'm running a free workshop. I run multiple of these in the year, so use the link below, bit.ly/invest remotely. I invest remotely because you can find these returns. If you want to join a workshop where I'll teach you exactly how you can do this yourself, use the link below. It'll either take you through to a waiting for the next one that's coming up, or it'll give you a registration for one if there is one coming up straight away. But listen, thank you so much for watching my videos and supporting my channel. My why is to live on my terms. My mission is to help as many people live on their terms, using financial education as a vehicle to do that. So please, if you've not done it already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified every time we release videos. We're releasing 2 a week. We're going to try and get up to 3 a week at the moment. And please share this out if you find it useful. Comment below anything, any feedback, anything you think I've missed off. Sometimes I miss the odd thing off, or I calculate something wrong as I'm in the heat of doing that. So put it below, any comments you've got. Really, really good to get your feedback. Let me know any videos you want me to do. And remember, if you don't evolve your ideas, you're never going to live on your own terms. So evolve your ideas, live on your own terms, and have an amazing day.